Hi, folks. I'm Peri, Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming. So today, it's a beautiful night here, and I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. Usually we do the show live from New York City, but I think like some of you out there, I've got family responsibilities and I take care of my mother in Maryland sometimes. So I think you all know how that feels. So I'm really glad to see you. And this week, it's been really interesting. I've had a lot of clients, great people, talking about how much they want somebody who doesn't want them. And sometimes there's somebody in their like immediate vicinity who they don't want because it seems too easy. And I think a lot of us buy into this thing of like, it has to be difficult to be romantic. It doesn't. And sometimes the hardest thing to get used to is having somebody feel like home, having somebody be nice to us. We all want the glamour of like getting that unattainable guy or girl or other, whatever your gender choice is, I'm cool with that. So for the purposes of tonight's show and all of our shows, I'm just going to go with like he and she, but I want you to know that other is fine. And however, if you were born one way and identify with as another, we respect that choice here. Anyway, so here's the thing. Everybody wants the unattainable. It's always we'll say, guy who doesn't return your texts immediately, who are like, oh, does he like me? Or the girl who is just like, doesn't seem like she cares, that we want, because it's part of human nature that we don't want to belong to any club that will have us as a member. So, and I see a lot of women friends chasing guys, and because the guys are like a little unattainable, and I see that not working. Another thing I never see working is if you're chasing a guy who's with somebody else, I wouldn't do that. There's a lot of terrific people out there, and choose one who's currently available. Anyway, so back to the wanting the unattainable and maybe not taking seriously somebody who seems like they like you too much, or they're too easily attainable, right? So I was thinking about this today, and I'm a songwriter and a singer, and have been in New York City cabaret for 20 years, since I was 10. So today I was thinking about you guys, and if it's okay, and it's a little daring, so stay with me, I'd like to share a poem I wrote today. Actually, it's lyrics to a song, and it's called Don't Be a Stranger. And it's about meeting somebody who you don't take seriously because they feel too comfortable. So, okay, ready? When we met, I don't know why, you somehow felt like home. You saw me to my soul, I saw. Could I stand being known? I couldn't feel desire back then without some shallow danger. But when I left, you smiled again and said, don't be a stranger. I wouldn't kiss you then as well because I desired another shallow boy who cared for no one but himself. I truly thought love was a toy and that there was no other way to love that was exciting. So I put you on the shelf. Don't be a stranger. You meant more than I knew. I knew that I would never be a stranger, not to you. Don't be a stranger. This was your gentle art. You taught me slowly how not to be a stranger to my heart. Just friends again for so long, then I let myself be kissed. And what I was so scared of, now I'm scared I almost missed. My fear of boredom was the reason that I'd always flown. Turns out the biggest bore of all was never being known. Don't be a stranger. You meant more than I knew. You knew that I could never be a stranger, not to you. Don't be a stranger. That was your gentle art. You taught me slowly not to be a stranger to my heart. We mostly are the opposite of how we play the world. The ship that looks the fastest is the one that has never had its sails unfurled. The recipe that looks the best, the ones that never made. The man who seems a player is the man who winds up played. The love that travels deepest is the love that never strayed. The man who plays for keeps is the one man who can't be played. The love who truly loves you first can truly feel like danger. The strangest and the strongest love is when you're not a stranger. Don't be a stranger. You meant more than I knew. You knew that I would never be a stranger, not to you. Don't be a stranger. This was your gentle art. You taught me slowly not to be a stranger to my heart. I'll never be a stranger now, no matter where I roam. You showed me what freedom is when you gave this strange and stranger's heart a home. So that's for you guys. And I'm really looking forward to our first caller, who is Catherine from Christchurch, New Zealand. I've had so many friends from there. Such a great place. And the people, I gotta say, I love New Zealand. Hi, Catherine.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm great, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very good. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. So before we start, just tell me, and no, you don't have to tell me the date. Tell me, when is your birthday, love?
The 9th of October. Do you need the year?
Oh, happy birthday. Nah, we don't do yours here.
Yes.
Don't ask me mine. I won't ask you yours.
Okay,
all right,
I haven't got a problem with it. I just didn't know whether you needed it or not.
No, that's next week. I was supposed to have a famous astrologer on this week, but she got hit by the flu. So,
oh no.
So next week is the astrologer week, but I do get a vibe from your birthday. And happy birthday!
Well,
happy belated birthday. Cool. So, did you have a specific question?
Not really, no. I think I'm just looking for guidance and anything that my spirit guides would like me to know or need to guide me in a certain direction. Things are a little bit up in the air at the moment here.
Yeah, they are. I'm going to pick some cards for you. Let's see what the first card, the overview card for you is. Catherine. All right, the first card, oh, that's interesting. The first card that came to hand is the Wheel of Fortune. And we like that card because the Wheel of Fortune means it does mean you're up in the air, but it means your luck is about to change for the better. And this is a time when everything has been changing for you. Well, a few things have stayed the same. That's good. But Wheel of Fortune is a good luck card. And it really does mean it's a major card. And it means your luck is about to change. This card says to me that you're juggling some decisions. And let me see what these are. Oh, Catherine, you're a nice person. Sorry, when I tune into somebody's energy, sometimes it's like, oh, I like that person. It's funny, more people like you than you know. You're, it's like people, when you leave a room, people say nice things about you behind your back. Obviously, you don't live in New York. Sorry. But, okay, so that's really nice. People value you because you're kind and you have a lot of energy and exuberance. And okay, there are two major areas that are up for grabs right now.
Okay.
And one is the job thing. I'm not sure if you're doing what you'd most love to do. I mean, you're good at what you're doing. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like there's a dream that's kind of tugging on your heart. Is that correct?
I wish I knew what my sole purpose was. I've just trained in a new position. I'm just getting work experience at the moment. And it really is just a means to an end to keep up with the bills. When you said juggling, that's true. It's financial and career-wise. But yeah, when they say if you work at what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I wish I knew what that felt like. I wish I knew what I needed, what my sole purpose was.
All right. Let me ask you a question. What do you do when you're putting off doing something else? Do you Pinterest? Do you play like an interior design game like I do on my phone? Because I think that there's a lot of creativity in you. and a lot of like caretaking ability that hasn't been fully expressed. So your creativity, are you good with colors, and are you good with like feeling the energy of a room?
I would consider myself an empath. I've only realised over the last couple of years that I really like colour. I dabbled in photography, but got waylaid and distracted from it. But I've just picked my camera back up again. And there's a couple of artistic, creative things that I'm interested in, but funds don't allow me to explore that at the moment.
Well, here's what I would suggest. I think one of the problems is you are good at a lot of different things. One of the main things I get for you is visual creative expression, which is backed up by your photography, your love for photography. When I said color, you would also make a really good interior decorator. And I'll tell you why. Because the friends I have who are interior decorators, I'm sorry, I'm just undressing. Sorry.
Okay.
If you keep adjusting my outfit. The friends I have who are interior decorators, a lot of it is like empathy. About 60% is like, yeah, I can feel the energy of a room. I'm good with colors. But a lot of it is like being empathic or empathetic with the client. And I think that's something you'd be really good at. So I love the financial security for you. But I also love, like, in your spare time, start experimenting with what you like. Maybe take an online course. You do have intuitive ability. I got to say, I wouldn't recommend The Life of a Psychic to anybody because it's, although that is an ability you have, although I think you're a different kind of psychic than I am. I think you're a dream psychic. I think you have.
What does that mean?
It means that you have a lot of information is downloaded for you during dreams. And you're somebody who it would be good to maybe take up a meditation practice. It's not as tough as it sounds. You can just learn how to meditate in about 10 minutes. And start, when you meditate, start just tuning in on, ask yourself, what do I like? And then start listening to that. But for you, I really think that something that is both creative and kind of intuitive psychic would be great. So I would encourage you. I really think you've got a talent with both color and working with people in a way that makes them feel good about. You make people feel good about themselves. You know that. Everybody tells you that, right?
Yes, so why do I have so much self-doubt?
Because you're a human being. Well, I'm telling you, everybody, I work with the biggest stars in the world, and you've never seen such insecure people. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody. Especially the ones who seem like. So sometimes with you, you have like this reservoir of bravery. I think you're a bit of a tomboy as a girl. You
Yes.
Yeah, you were, right? So you have. Yeah. Me too. I don't dress like it, but that bravery and that courage that it takes to be like a tomboy when you're a little girl, you have that. So take some risks. Keep your job, but take a few risks. Do like a couple of things a week you're scared to do, and get used to taking risks, right? Because I really think that. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No. I was thinking about my children. Sorry, go on.
Oh, well, you have. I was supposed to say 2.5 kids. That's not right. You have 3 kids?
No, that's right. You're spot on.
Oh,
You're
that is my
spot on.
job.
That is a brilliant way to describe it. I've got 2 biological children and an adopted nephew, and they're all teenagers, and I'm worried about all 3 of them. So that's a very good explanation. Well done for saying 2.5, because he's my nephew who I adopted.
Oh, what a great thing. What a great thing for you to do. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to take some time. I know with 2.5 kids, it's hard for you to find time for yourself, but I think unconsciously your guides had you call in today to have me give you permission. And I have a really cool ring, so I must know what I'm talking about. Is that cool? Give you permission to take some time for yourself, because girl, you're such a good person. I love you. Adopted your nephew. How great is that? So great. So, I mean, my God, who does that? So great. So take some time, take a little time for yourself. You're allowed to. And also, you're modeling a way of being self-loving for those kids. So when you say, hey, kids, I'm going to take like a half an hour and just look at this online course about interior decorating, or I'm going to, make a little art, or I'm going to meditate, you're modeling for them a fantastic way of being. You're telling them it's okay to say, like, I'm going to take a little time and just get to my creative truth and just, respect my needs. That gives them permission to do that. So
yeah, I mean, that's great advice, and I've probably never had more time on my hands than I've got at the moment, because they're teenagers and they're out and about, and I can hardly ever get hold of them. And I don't know if it's a good thing that they're out spreading their wings, or if they're deceiving me and or not being entirely honest with me.
Both. One of them is a little more dishonest than the others, but they're teenagers. Lying is what we did when we were that age. Yes, Mom, of course I'm studying. I'm certainly not shimmying down the back porch to go ride motorcycles with my friends. No, I would never do that. They're not doing that. In case my mom's watching, I didn't do that. But for you, one of them is a little more, there's one of them who's a little more sort of risk-taking than the others. One of them is kind of an angel, to be honest with you. One of them is kind of an angel. One of them actually is really truthful and really like doing. I think it's what she says, but so they're like on different parts of the scale. So there's one over here who takes the most risks, one in the middle who's kind of easily influenced either way, and one who's just actually really like kind of trustworthy. So, but it's all going to work out. They're all going to be fine. And just keep an eye on the one is a risk taker. So, all right, darling, I love you. I'm going to take the next call. Will you call back and tell me what happened? Brilliant.
Thank you so much for your time, Peri. It's been absolutely superb. You've given me goosebumps.
Oh, thank you, love. Call back. I'm really interested in seeing what happens, and I'm on your side, okay? You rule.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for your time.
Sure. Okay, baby. Talk to you soon. Hi. And who do we have next? It was on my screen, but I was so absorbed. Oh, hello, darling. How are you? Hi, Troy. What a great name.
Very good, thank you.
Oh, you're from Brisbane. Oh, cool. Oh, God, I miss Australia and Australians. Oh, so cool. So how can I help you, my love?
I'm just
Troy, come back. Are you there?
wondering how I really want to. I've been practicing a lot of different ways of healing and connecting with my guides, and I just want to know when it'll be all happening, when I can actually help and heal to people.
I mean, when you're going to be the most in touch with your guides? Or when you're going to... what's interesting is... Okay, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. What's interesting is that you already are in touch with your guides.
Yeah, I realize that. I just more in my own way of communicating, so not in my own way of communicating, but when will I be able to communicate better and actually be able to heal? And the other thing is a Nicholas keeps coming up in my life, Nick or Nicholas, and I'm just wondering who and how that's related to me.
Everything. What was the word you used? Sounded like you were saying the name Nicholas, but I don't think that's right.
That's right. Nicholas or Nick?
Nick, is that one of your guides?
Apparently, Another medium told me that person was near me.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
trying
correct.
to find out how we're related.
No, with you, what's interesting is you have natural mediumistic abilities. And that can be, I'm glad that you're doing this slowly, because jumping into natural mediumistic abilities can be like a little mind-blowing. So it's your timing is perfect. With mediumistic abilities, there's a couple of things. I would, before you sort of sit down and meditate and get into that head, and ask to see your guides, first thing I would do is ask the Archangel Michael to protect you. It's not a Christian or whatever thing. Archangel Michael is a very protective ancient energy. So that's the first thing I'd ask. And the second thing I'd say is ask Archangel Raphael. So Michael and Raphael, as soon as you ask, they're there. And then for you, you have a fair amount of guides. Nicholas feels to me like he's related to, and it's an ancestor of some kind. Not an ancestor exactly, but somebody feels like if you do like Ancestry.com and you go 2 or 3 generations back, this is a cousin. I think it's on your father's side. And I know that this is true because...
the medium said too.
Yeah. It's so funny because I was just talking earlier about my late cousin, second cousin, Nick. And I haven't talked about him for a decade. So that's obviously, that was for you. I got information to give to you to affirm that you are spot on, right? So you're right. And so Nick is a helpful and loving guide. He is especially with you now because he's kind of like a big brother, and he will slowly introduce you to other guides. You have a female guide who I don't think has ever been incarnated. She feels like an ascended master. I would say ascended mistress, but that just sounds wrong. And she's, I know, right? It's a New York thing. So Nick is on this side for you. If you're turning around, he's on your left side. The female guide is on your right side, and she's whispering in your ear. And she's very, very like a feminine wisdom. And I think sometimes it's hard for men to hear feminine wisdom. Not for any, just our culture. So you do have mediumistic abilities. I would ask you to get some sort of, I'm not a crystal person, right? For me, they're mostly just rocks. But for you, get a black rock of some kind. Like go to a woo-woo store and get like basalt or some sort of black rock. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's very grounding. Perfect. That's what I was trying to remember the name of. But I'm not old enough to have a senior moment. Junior moment? Okay. What day is your birthday, love?
7th of January, 66.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, Capricorns make the best mediums. Well, aside from Pisces, of course. But because you guys are very structured and you're very grounded. So for you, I would just hold that crystal in your hand. Always ask to be protected either by archangels. I always bring God into the picture because it's always good to have that protection. But you have the ability to both work with your guides and to also be practice mediumship for others. Let's see. I'm going to recommend. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna recommend that you again start meditating, but mostly trust what you get and trust yourself. Just keep asking. Just ask. Say, "Hey God, I would love protection, and I'd love to meet my guides," and that will help. On my website this week, I'm going to post a sort of how to do mediumship stuff. That'll be up by Saturday. So just keep doing what you're doing because you're spot on. Everything you said to me rings my truth bell. So you're doing good. And you have,
Thank you.
Nick is a very strong guide, and the female guide is very strong. So keep going. That help?
I really appreciate what you're doing, and you're a very good guide yourself.
Oh, thank you, love. Well, let me know. Call back next week, and I'm going to publish this thing for you, Troy. So I'm actually going to say for Troy at the beginning. So look for it around Saturday or Sunday on my website, okay? And
Lots of love to all.
okay, huge hug. My producer's like saying bye, so I'm going to have to go. But you really have a gift. And also, you know what? The people who know you, they're lucky. So remember that.